Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Reader's Workshop. Let's read our teaching point to see what we're going to be learning about today. Teaching point. I can notice text features in my nonfiction book. So text features are very important things that you may find in your nonfiction books. So let's go over some. Nonfiction text features. Many of your books, of course, have photographs, and they help us to learn and see what we're going to be learning about. There's also captions. Sometimes you'll see a picture and writing under it explaining what it is. Your books might have a glossary. This is usually in the back of your book, and in a glossary, it will list words and tell you what they mean. There might also be a table of contents in the beginning, and this tells us all the things you're going to learn and where you can find them on what page. A diagram shows you a bunch of pictures and their life cycle or the order that they're in. A heading tells you at the top of the page what you're going to learn on that page. A map will show you maybe where your animal or insect lives. And you might find labels on your photographs because it's telling you what you're learning about or the parts of your animal or your insect. So nonfiction books tell us so much real information, but they also have so many text features that teach us even more and help us. So let's go over some text features you may see in your nonfiction books and how they can help us. Here we have a table of contents. A table of contents tells us what we will learn on each page. For example, on page 6, if I go over here to page 6, I see that we're going to learn how an egg will hatch. Your nonfiction book, another important text feature, is photographs, or we like to call them sometimes pictures. And they help us to know what we're learning about. See all the pictures? I can see in this picture, this is a butterfly. Sometimes our pictures have labels. Labels tell us parts of the picture and what they mean. So if we look at this butterfly, it says dull colored wings. It says feathery antennae. These labels tell us what we're looking at. Now let's talk about a heading. A heading in a nonfiction book tells us what we will be learning about on the page. So this heading says butterflies help the earth. So on this page, the heading is telling me that I'm going to be learning about how butterflies help the earth. A diagram is also in a nonfiction book, and a diagram tells me the parts of something and how it works. This diagram shows us the life cycle of a butterfly. So here it starts with the egg, and it tells us all the different parts and the cycles with the arrows, but how this life cycle is. Also, your nonfiction book may have a map, and a map can tell me where my nonfiction animal or insect lives and when it may live there. See all the different arrows? In the back of your book, you might find a glossary, and a glossary tells me important words in my book and their definition, and a definition is what they mean. So if I want to know what a chrysalis is, it will tell me a hard shell that forms around caterpillars while they change into butterflies. So it's really important to look for a glossary because it can help you learn many new things you didn't know before. An index is also in the back, and an index helps me to find important parts in my book that I may need to find or just want to read again. It tells me what page I can go back and find them on. So in the back of this book about butterflies, the index, if I want to learn about caterpillars and read it again and reread, I'll go to page 15. If I want to read about flowers, I can go to page 12 and 16. There are so many exciting text features in nonfiction books. Your nonfiction books might not have all of these text features, but I'm sure if you look closely, you will find a lot of them. So for your activity today, I want you to read a nonfiction book and draw and write which nonfiction text feature was in your book. You can use this chart to help you. Try reading the book Flutter Butterfly on Epic. I will leave the link for you in our class story. Okay, I can't wait to see all of your great work today. Have fun finding text features in your nonfiction book.